You have a tier one guy. What is that? That's the guy you call when you call the help desk. What does he do? He normally tells you to reboot your machine, right? And he might follow a simple script. And if he doesn't know what to do, he hands it to somebody else, right? And so on and so forth. Well, that's a great model with an IT problem because an IT problem is black and white, right? It's a break fix. If I call the help desk because my computer's not working, and ultimately they say, okay, cool, your ticket's closed, but my computer's still not working. I call back and go, what are you guys doing? Right. And
Right, right.
so the difference is in cyber, when you're dealing just with strict malware, hey, we found a piece of malicious code on somebody's machine. It's black and white, just like the IT help desk. The tiered model worked. But somewhere around 2010, maybe a little sooner, probably definitely a little sooner, but widely understood around 2010, our adversaries stopped just using strict malware and they live off the land. They look like your admins, right? And they operate in ways that the end user doesn't know about. So if it goes to tier three and tier three doesn't know what to do with it, nobody's holding them accountable. Nobody's calling back and saying, hey, my system still doesn't work. They don't realize that there's an adversary there stealing all of your information, stealing all your customers' data, doing whatever. So so that model in and of itself is broken because of that. That tiered model is broken because of that. Now, what about the tierless or the tierless SOC that I described? Tierless SOC is cool. What is it? Basically, it's where one guy basically owns the investigation beginning to end. They get an alert, they get whatever, and they investigate it. They do all the things. Well, that's cool if you have a really smart cyber defense operator. It's really cool if you have a small organization without a ton of things going on, but it gets really hard when you're in a large enterprise. Gets really hard when you know how it is um, for a lot of our customers finding expert cyber defense analysts who continue to want to be cyber defense analysts when the perception of most SOCs is that that's kind of a little bit more entry level of a job, even though it's not. They just take that perception because of those tier one guys that they all see. That model doesn't exactly work either. So where cell-based SOC comes in is it kind of takes the best of both principles and it organizes around the team's mission or function rather than their skill level.
Okay. All right. So I think now, so if I'm tracking what you're saying, then, right. So part of the problem. Let's start with the tier one. You mentioned a bunch of different things in there. So you start with the tier one guys. You say they get burned out, and I guess that's true. We see that in lots of different environments where the classic story is, you get a guy in for 6 months, he gets his cert, and then he's out. He's working the next job because you said he's not learning anything, and he's working a shift. Right. So, working in the middle of the night is maybe not so fun. You want to look for an opportunity to do something else because that's kind of taxing in the on the person. So that makes a bunch of sense to me.